Welcome back. This is Mary from Around the Craft Room. I'm wanting to make a folio inspired by one I saw from Tim Holtz. And I'm going to try to make this out of 3 pieces of cardstock, 12 by 12 cardstock. And all we need is a very few supplies. So we will need a paper trimmer, a scoreboard. I like to round my corners, so I'm using a corner rounder, a bone folder, and if you don't use the sewing machine, which I've used, you'll need a way to sew it in. So I've got needles, hole punch, and thread. So anyway, let's get started. Put my scoreboard aside and take one sheet of paper, and we're going to trim it. I'm going to trim the first one at 6.5. Okay. Then I'm going to take this piece we had left over, and we're just going to half it at 6. This is going to be a 5.5 by 6. Okay, with the second sheet, we're also going to cut it at 6.5. We're only going to need a small piece of it, but we need it 6.5. Okay, so we're also going to cut it at 6.5 and lay this piece aside for now. And we're going to come back and measure this one, the piece that we had left over. We're going to need these cut at 4. We'll be using this little piece later. And then we're going to need these cut at almost about 6, let's do 6 1/4. All right. Now, this one I only need a small piece off of it, so we're going to use this one at, okay, I'm going to cut 3 inches off of this. Make sure this is the 6.5 piece. Yes, and I need 3 inches. So I need a 3-inch piece here. So this 3.5 piece goes with your 6.5 over here. Okay, those two go together. This one, again, I need to come back and cut it. Let's see what we got left. Yes, I need to cut it at 8. And then again at 4. Which these 3 should be the same size. So we need 3 pieces that are going to be 6 1/4 by 4. Lay those aside. Then we have our 2 pieces that are 6.5, and this is the full sheet by 12. And then 1 piece that's 6.5 by 3. Okay, those two go together. Then we have these 2 pieces that are 5.5 by 6. All right, so this is all the pieces you're going to need. Oh, I did that out of 2 sheets instead of 3. Then we have this piece left over for some hinges. So that's all we need. So we got this all cut out of 2 pieces of cardstock. Now, let's go back with these first. So these are the 4 by 6. The first one, we're just going to score at 1/2 inch. And we'll take our bone folder and fold it. next one we're going to score at 1 inch. And yeah, I could use this, but I just had this laying here, so this is what I'm using. And the next one we're going to score at 1.5 inches. How y'all like the coloring I did on my scoreboard? I did that because, yeah, I couldn't see the numbers. So I just took a marker, and it's my scoreboard, so if it colors it up, it's okay. All right, so we're going to have 3 of these, and they're going to be stacked like this. 1 inch, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inches. So this kind of makes a waterfall effect. Now this is where I took mine to the sewing machine and just sewed it right down through here. You can do that, or you can do the sew in, you know, just sew a pamphlet stitch. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, you can do that either way. This is where I come in with my quarter rounder, and I just round all the corners. And this is a preference. This is just because I like it this way, but you can just leave it plain if you want to. Okay, so I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine, and I'm going to stack it up like 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inches. And then I'm just going to sew right down through there. Depends on your sewing machine. This is three pieces of cardstock, whether or not that works. So I'll be right back. Okay, so this is what I have. So you have this waterfall effect. This is the inside of your portfolio. Okay, so we'll lay that aside. And then I'm coming in with my, this is where it gets a little bit more confusing. I'm coming in with my 12 by 6.5. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a pencil, and I'm going to mark at 1/2 inch. Yeah, I'm going to mark 1/2 inch. Well, first, I might lightly score it, just so I make sure I do, I get a straight line. Anyway, so I'm going to mark this 1/2 inch, just with a pencil. All right. Now, I'm going to skip down to 1 1/4 inches, and I'm going to score. And I'm going to score every 1/8 of an inch until I get to 1.5 inches. So we'll skip down here to 1.5 inches so I know where I'm at. So I score every 1/8 of an inch. One, that will be, okay. Let's back that up and try using this. I just have a hard problem getting that out, so let's do that. Every 1/8 inch. Okay, there we go. All right, let's try that again. 1.5 inches, and then I just need to mark it. So I just lightly scored it so I can mark where that 1.5 inches is. And then skip 1/8 of an inch, and then go every 1/8 of an inch until you get to 1.5 inches. And then I'm going to skip down here to 7 1/8. And how many times do we do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 1. And then every 1/8 inch until you get to 7 of them. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that would be up to 8 inches. So this is where your portfolio just folds. So this, you don't really score it, you just kind of roll it. So you just kind of want this to roll up like that. Yeah. And then the 3 by 6.5 will just be glued on here like this. Okay. And that will be the outside of your portfolio. Now, these 2 pieces that are 5.5 by 6, you're going to take where they're like 6 like this, and you're going to score them. You're going to go in with a 1/2 inch and then score them every 1/8 of an inch after that for 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times. So go into a 1/2 inch and then score it up to 1 inch. Try both of those like that. On the 6-inch side. A 1/2 inch. 1. That's 3, 4, and that's 5 times, all the way up to 1 inch. That's pretty much what we got on the scoring. So let's see if we can put this together. Okay, let's assemble this. So I'm going to take my score tape and I'm just going to put a piece down through here on this piece that I drew the line on, so it'd be easy to do that. And I also like to add a bead of glue down through there too, just to make sure this stays together pretty good. There should be a lot of wear and tear on this. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of glue down through here. If my glue works, there we go. And then I'm going to take this. This is the 6 by 12, and then I'm going to take this 3-inch piece, and I'm just going to glue it up to the line there. Okay. So this is going to be our portfolio. So this is where it folds in like this, or like this, whichever way you want to do it, which I didn't quite get it straight, but that's close enough. Anyway, so that's what we do there. And then this piece, these pieces, yeah, and then these 2 pieces fold in like this. And you can make them shorter. I've made them shorter before, or you can leave them this length, whichever way you want to do it. So they go in like that. So again, I'm going to take the score tape and put on here. I'll put it on both of them. I should have done this whole thing out of some printed paper or something. I bet you could do that. I've just done it out of the cardstock and make it look more like a portfolio, what I would think. But you could do it out of any color if you wanted to. Take this off. Put a little bit more glue on there. And then just glue this to the top part or bottom part of this. I think it'd be easier for me to glue it on like this. That way I can see where It's got to get between those notches that you did. Yep. And it folds in like this. Same thing with the bottom. Come on. The glue's not wanting to work very well. It's probably hadn't used it in a while. It's kind of probably needs opened up. Okay. So I turn it over like this so it's easier to see, and then put it between those notches. And this is pretty much your portfolio. So this is where you go in if you want and trim all your corners, quarter around all your corners. And that's what I would do, just quarter around them all like this, of course. Just, again, that's just my preference. There we go. All right, so this is the front of your portfolio. This is the flaps that goes inside. And these all, the reason you scored them all like that is just so they'll kind of round up. You don't really score them deep. You just kind of like this. So this is how they all fold in, and then that's your front. So that's pretty much the frame of your portfolio. Then the inside has this waterfall effect. So what I do is I will take it and even it up with these two pieces here, and then put it over like this, and then where we're going to use the small leftover piece, and I'm just going to make some hinges. And so I want to cut those. Oh, I don't know how wide these are. Let me see what this is. So this is a leftover piece that is about 1.5 inches. And so I'm going to cut those at 4 inches. That's just an estimate. You can do whatever size you want to. So I need 2 of these cut at, no, let's cut them at 3 inches. That would be plenty big enough. All right, let's cut these at 3 inches. So I need those cut at 3 inches, and then just fold them in half there. And then I'm going to just take these and glue them onto the back side of this, somewhere right about in here, like that. We'll just use these for hinges, and we're just going to glue these on here. Now, we're going to cover this all up, so it's really not going to matter exactly where it's at. So that will all be covered up when you start decorating your portfolio. So come on, glue. Don't know why it's not working for me. There we go. Okay. And then we'll just put some more glue on this. If my glue worked, which is very annoying. I'm gonna have to clean that out, I guess. Oh, my goodness. Worked for a minute. Okay. Then, where this last fold is, you need to skip back just a little bit. So basically, even with these guys you put down here. So skip back like this and put them in like this. So. This is the basis of your portfolio. This is the waterfall effect. These are the flaps. It flaps down inside like this. And then they fold over like this. And so this is what you have. All right, I'm going to show you what I did with mine. I didn't put this piece on it, but I'm going to show you what I did with mine. This is how it all looks. It's fairly simple. It's just figuring out all the scoring. This was inspired by one from Tim Holtz. So this is the one I did. And instead of adding this extra piece on the front of mine, I just added an extra flap. So instead of adding this extra piece here, which would flap over, because otherwise they just meet, because mine just meets like this together. So I added an extra piece and then where it would close. So anyway, so this is how you kind of decorate it. You can decorate it with ephemera from your trip or whatever. And so they fold up like this and then down like this. I have an extra card in there. And then all these little pieces that you have here, you can staple stuff to. You can add, I added some tags and some sewed in a couple of things, was just sewn on it, decorated it, and then you know, stapled some different things to it. And so it folds out like this. Some of them I added a longer piece of paper to it, depending on what I wanted on there. So this is the way, and then this is the last one. Put a flap on it, added some more, and then this is your last one, the one that's out like that. And then I put a pocket on the back, added some tabs in there. So this is the way I decorated mine, which I think is really kind of cool. You've got different sizes of little, you could add another, I just stenciled mine on there to make it colorful, but you could add some more, staple some more ephemera to it. So mine folds up like this and then across like that. So this is, I just added paper. So this is the way I decorated mine. I hope this made sense and y'all try one. It's a lot of fun to make. Thank you for watching. Y'all have a wonderful day. Bye.